Welcome to the Geek Homeworld. I am your host, SavageTechman. We talk sci-fi, TV, movies, superheroes, and all from a geek perspective. You can find us on Blogger, Google+, Twitter, Facebook. We're everywhere. Join the Geek Homeworld. I'm joined once again here with Cheryl, and we're going to discuss summer movies.
I think, there were a couple of movies that we wish we had seen.
Right.
Number one of those was Inside Out.
Yes, that a big hit that was, and we missed it.
You were so excited about it all the time. You wanted to,
leading up to it.
You wanted to act like the characters from just seeing the commercials.
Exactly.
But I don't know, for some reason or another, like every time we had an opportunity to go see it, it just
something happened.
Didn't work out. Something
got
came
in the
up.
way, so we didn't get to see it.
We did see a lot of movies, and then of course there were the Minions,
which was another successful movie.
And it looked like it was going to be something great. So I kind of feel like I did see it because there was so much
marketing for it. Yes, and
I went to a vending machine one day to get a snack, and there were Twinkies, and the Twinkies looked like Minions. I mean, it was everywhere. So I didn't see the movie, but I definitely saw a lot of Minions.
Yeah, Minions were everywhere.
I kind of enjoyed the first movie. I don't even remember this. Isn't it the second one? Yeah. Despicable Me 2.
And then there was Minions.
And so I don't know. I feel like I missed it.
I personally didn't care if I did want to see Minions, don't get me wrong, but if it ended up on my list not seeing it, it wasn't the end of the world.
Well, I think if somebody had said, "Hey, you want to come see Minions with me?" I would have gone.
I would have definitely gone.
I would have gone. So, overall, I think a lot of people enjoyed it.
Now, the next thing we're going to chat about are movies that we're glad we missed.
Yeah, there were definitely some that we
were glad and these were definitely ones that people that saw them wish they hadn't missed too.
Yeah, that's why we're glad we missed them, because everybody hated them.
We saved some money.
Really. Tomorrowland, which from the beginning to me just looked like they were trying too hard.
They were just trying to sell a Disney attraction.
It didn't make any sense.
And as much
to
as
me.
I love George Clooney movies.
And as much as I love Disney.
Yeah, same here.
I love Tomorrowland at Disney World.
Yes, and me too, but it did not translate.
But my favorite ride is the People Mover. That's not very exciting. I don't think, so.
The next one, and we talked a little bit on episode 1 of adaptations of superhero movies, Fantastic Four. Nobody bought it.
Well, I didn't like the last series of Fantastic Four movies.
They were much better than this, even though...
Well, that's what they say. I'm kind of curious, though, because I kind of wanted to see what the setup was, but... I'm sure I'll see it on reruns or on demand or something.
USA Network and all these other networks, they show them.
Lifetime Movie Network.
Now those first two movies aren't looking so bad compared to how bad this one was.
Or Pixels.
And if you
I'm really disappointed in Pixels because I was so excited. We're children of the 80s, so...
Definitely wanted to see the Pac-Man. Oh, such a good boy.
I was so excited about it from the previews last spring, and then... as soon as we saw the first preview, we were freaking out over it.
Yeah.
And then I had an opportunity to see the short film that this film is based on, and
Which I have not seen.
You've got to see it. If you've not seen it, then you need to Google Pixel short film and go see it, because it's really fantastic. Mm-hmm. But not this. And the hate that poured out from bloggers and movie reviewers.
I feel bad for Adam Sandler's career. It's kind of gone the way that this movie has.
No, but Peter Dinklage was in it. I wanted to see it
True.
I don't know what his role was, but I'm like, oh my God, it's Peter Dinklage.
And Lannister always pays their debts.
Well, apparently he's going to have to pay a lot of debts from that movie.
But I'm sure he's got the money in the bank. He's doing okay.
But there were a lot of movies. We saw a lot of movies that we really liked.
And these are now what we're going to discuss, movies that we liked that together.
But we're just going to talk about them kind of alphabetically.
Yeah.
So this isn't a ranking, so don't get mad at us yet if we didn't choose your favorite as
this particular
our favorite.
part is just alphabetical.
Just alphabetical.
And we're going to start with Avengers Age of Ultron.
That was a really good film, and I don't know. I think I saw it 3 times.
I saw it an extra time.
Yeah,
I saw it 4 times, which matched what I saw Avengers.
Yeah.
Still, personally, Avengers was better than Age of Ultron, but Age of Ultron was necessary.
Captain America, the last Captain America was better still than Age of Ultron, I think. But it was good.
And Captain America Civil War is going to be like Avengers 2.5. It's going to be over the top great from everything I'm seeing on it. Now,
because I really enjoyed like
Ultron,
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
and
the Vision was my favorite character. Paul Bettany brought that to life.
He did a great job. I'm a fan of Paul Bettany. And
I thought it was done well. And James Spader as the voice of Ultron, wonderful. But
well, it was nice to get the backstory on the characters, and especially on
Natasha Romanoff.
We got a lot of backstory on her.
Hers was a little disturbing, and then
then we're completely surprised
by the family that
the secret family that nobody but Natasha knew about. For what's his name? Arrow Man.
Arrow. No, not Arrow. It's not Arrow. That's a totally different universe there. That's DC versus Marvel.
We're going to lose our geek card pretty soon. We're going to be thrown out of the Geek Homeworld if we can't even remember the name of this character.
Oh my gosh, Jeremy Renner.
Jeremy Renner, for sure.
Yes.
So his secret family. But Marvel had another movie out this summer too, Ant-Man. Which people were like, how are you going to make a movie about Ant-Man?
It was better than I thought it would be.
I enjoyed all of the previews. Every time I saw them, I laughed. So I really enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Paul, what's his name? Goodness, we should have looked up everybody's names.
Podcasts are not perfect.
I love him, and so I thought that he did a great job. It was a lot better than I expected it to be, and I loved...
Hawkeye,
thank you.
Sorry, it just came back to me.
Different movie.
Because Hawkeye doesn't dress in the whole purple he did in the comics.
That's why you can't identify him as Hawkeye. And
he was great.
I grew up watching MASH. My dad was a supreme MASH freak, so Hawkeye to me is
oh my gosh.
MASH.
Okay. Yeah, that's true.
Okay,
we can mix those. Those are two Marvel movies, and they both begin with an A.
I love the guys in Ant-Man who were his accomplices.
Michael Douglas did a very good role in there as Hank Pym.
Yeah.
In the movie. He did They even de-aged him at the beginning.
I loved both.
Digitally.
I loved the circle of friends around Ant-Man. I thought it was good. I thought the backstory,
the reveal with Wasp.
The backstory was a little belabored for me. I get tired of too much backstory.
Honestly, it was
at the beginning of a film. I don't like it.
Ant-Man was probably next to the Hulk one of the weakest movies, and financially, it was one of the weakest movies in all of the Marvel. Yeah, but it served its purpose, and it was. It
was good. I enjoyed it.
It had a lot of humor. So.
A lot of humor.
The next movie that we collectively liked was Jurassic World.
Jurassic World was another one where I was really.
I was surprised, and I
had
blown away by the box office.
Had some issues with it. First of all, Dallas Bryce Howard, I need to know where she bought those shoes because she could run in those shoes. Yeah. She went in the mud. She went on the rocks, and those shoes.
The only problem we had was at the end where the dinosaur comes out of the water.
Luckily, T-Rex wasn't hungry after defeating the other dinosaur.
Yeah,
and so the T-Rex just looks at the humans like, I'm going home.
And just the lady, when she was running out there before, she waited for the dinosaur.
She waits for the dinosaur to get like 2 feet.
Then she goes running in her heels.
Running in her fabulous heels.
Yeah.
So,
but it did $10 trillion at the box office.
I thought Chris was great.
Chris Pine, wow.
Not Chris Pine. That's.
Excuse me, I always do that.
That's Captain Kirk.
That's Captain Kirk.
Wow.
He's one of my favorite Chris's.
Your Greek card.
I'm having
your geek card.
I'm having a Greek moment.
I don't know what that means.
Wow.
We also enjoyed Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, the next time we'll see Henry.
I didn't know anything
Cavill
about.
will be in Batman vs Superman.
I knew nothing about. I'd never seen any of the television shows.
I don't think I have. I remember the shows, but I don't remember really watching them.
But I really liked it.
I enjoyed it.
It was humorous. And
Armie Hammer was in there with him. He was great.
Oh yeah, Armie Hammer was great.
He did a great job.
And then with the all of the stunt action was great. Mm-hmm. The acting was great, and I love Hugh Grant, and so he was terrific too, as well as Henry Cavill. So that was a surprise to me. We just kind of went to it on a fluke, really. There was nothing else at the theater.
Yeah, and I wasn't like, beating the band to go see the Man from U.N.C.L.E., but
it was like, we want to go see a movie.
And
there was nothing else at the theater.
It was kind of James Bondy a little bit.
But more fun than James Bond for me.
Well,
then the other one that we went to that I had no expectations of was Mission Impossible, Rogue Nation.
And you haven't seen any others, so it might have been out of place for you, which is surprising. For me, the last movie was awesome, and Rogue Nation was very good.
It was really good, and I was really pleased with,
I'm not a Tom Cruise hater. I love to see his action movies.
I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise personally, but I think his work is pretty good.
Well, I don't know him personally.
Well, last time I had him over for dinner, he was just a total jerk.
Other than that, we're like, really, Tom? Did you have
Stop jumping on the sofa.
I know, jumping off the top of the house or whatever into the pool.
But I was really pleased with how, because I hadn't seen any of the previous ones, I didn't know if I was going to be lost, but I didn't feel lost at all. I felt like I understood
and you also
the
had
relationships between the
Jeremy
characters.
Renner in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Jeremy Renner fan.
And your favorite... Oh gosh, I can't think of anything today. The comedian.
I know, I can't think of his first name either.
Wow.
Shaun of the Dead. I keep thinking of his movies.
Yes.
Paul, Shaun of the Dead. What's his actual name?
Oh my God, you're gonna have to look that up. We're just doing a terrible segment here. We don't know anybody. Okay, it was someone that.
It's been a long weekend already.
It already has. Well, I'll let you.
Simon Pegg, for goodness sake.
Simon Pegg, yes.
Love Simon Pegg.
He's awesome.
So I'll really see anything Simon Pegg is in. Yeah. So I was really excited.
And the next Mission Impossible movie, they're not going to wait 3 or 4 years. They're going to try to have it out in the next couple of years.
Well, it's because Tom's getting too old to keep sending him out there.
But they sold that movie on just him hanging off the side of that big
plane,
airplane.
Yeah.
And he did that stuff.
And that was like the first scene. So I was concerned when that was the first thing that happened. And I thought,
I wasn't, because I just knew. I was like, he's going to
I've seen everything. Do it. It was good.
And we're going to go back and watch the other ones together sometime.
Maybe.
Okay.
It didn't really necessarily make me want to see the rest of them.
The last movie that we liked collectively, it wasn't the greatest movie, and it was formulaic at times.
Formulaic.
Okay. It was also formulaic. I'm creating new words.
Can't remember.
San Andreas with The Rock.
San Andreas with The Rock. And Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
And the one boy plays the youngest son on Game of Thrones. He's one of the surviving Starks.
The Starks need GPS.
They need to just...
They can't find each other.
They're never, ever, ever getting back together.
All right,
but San Andreas was really a lot better than I expected. I love disaster movies, so I had to see it.
That's true.
I'm required to see it because I'm such a fan of disaster movies, whether they're good or not. I'm upset
that the next Independence Day movie won't have Will Smith in it.
I don't even want to talk about it.
I know, it's upsetting.
Independence Day is like one of my all-time favorite movies.
And we can totally agree on that. I can watch that today and kick the tires and light the fires, I'm ready to go, big guy.
Yes, again, but without the oops.
But yeah, without the oops. No oops. No cigar yet. Movies that I personally liked.
Yeah, there are some movies you liked that I didn't.
And that you didn't. These are ones that I liked that you did not. Mad Max Fury Road. I was not expecting to like that movie. And really, it's kind of two movies, because if you've seen it already, if you hadn't, spoiler alert, okay, but I'm sure you've seen it at this point. It was way over the top, like it needed to be. I mean, it was like a rock and roll movie. It was just awesome.
Yeah, I guess the music was good.
And it was just that whole type.
The great thing was, nobody had to remember any dialogue.
Right.
There was no dialogue.
But if you go through the movie, the point I'm making is it basically was two movies. They basically go all through the movie, then they have to turn back and go home. And I'm like, really?
Well, I mean, here are the good things I can say about the movie. Charlize Theron still looked good.
She's awesome.
Even though she can kick made to look rough and tough. And Danielle Keough was in there, and she's, the granddaughter of Elvis, and I grew up in an Elvis household, so, that's a cool thing, I guess. But I found it mind-numbingly horrible.
I thought it was awesome.
When they got to the end and they said, we're going to turn around and go back, I thought, oh my God, this movie still has another hour left and I'm going to stab myself now. I'm going to take this Twizzler and put it through my eyeball.
And this is a big thing to say, what I'm going to say next, but possibly one of my favorite movies of the summer and of the franchise. This is the big thing. Terminator Genisys. And It underperformed. It did probably less than 100 million, so it's statistically a bomb. But thank you, China, because overseas it did gangbusters. So now they've greenlighted supposedly the sequels for it, Terminator 2 and Terminator 3. Now, not to be confused with the original Terminator, still the best in the series is Terminator 2 Judgment Day, done by James Cameron. This is the shocking thing. This movie, Terminator Genisys, even though it's spelled funny, Genesis was my second favorite of the entire franchise.
Well,
and that is saying a lot.
I went to see Mission Impossible, although I had never seen any of them.
Arnold was believable.
I could not take myself to Terminator Genesis. I had not seen I Terminator movies. I was so disappointed when I finally saw RoboCop. I kind of feel like I'm going to hate Terminator
RoboCop's a different thing. Now you're going off on a tangent there.
I mean, I thought it was interesting to see Emilia Clarke without her blonde hair as Daenerys Stormborn, but...
And I was looking for dragons. Terminator dragons. That would be super awesome. How cool is that?
Combine the franchises.
But Terminator Genesis, next to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which no one, including James Cameron, could probably ever top.
Well, and the other one I refused to go see, and again, had not seen any of, was Furious 7, which you really liked.
I enjoyed, and everybody loved it. And the Paul Walker scene at the end was really a nice send-off. But I've really gotten back in, like most people have, into the Fast and Furious movies. And this was better. You said you did not see it.
No, I didn't see any of them, and I didn't, I'm not a big fan of any of the folks who were in the movie, so there really wasn't any reason that I wanted to go see.
I love cars. I'm a guy.
This version.
It's a thing.
I didn't even realize that 7 of them had been done. Is that why it's called Furious 7?
Yeah. And now we need to move into, I'm going to do my rankings of my top 5, and it's hard to get it down to 5.
You have a really hard time choosing
I had
favorites.
it really down to 7, and I'm getting it down to 5.
Can't talk about that many movies.
The summer to me belonged to Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Well, it started out with Age of Ultron.
It did.
Really.
Number 2 on my list, and very high, Terminator Genesis. Even though it was a total reimagining, turned everything on its head, I would say it was very well done. It was believable. It was great to see Arnold back in action. Number 3, Furious 7. Enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Was it ever the top Unbelievable? Of course. But it's meant to be. And the Paul Walker element made me want to see it even more. I was going to see it regardless. Whether Paul Walker had lived or died, I was going to see Furious 7. It was just automatic. Just like the next movie, number 4 on my list, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I enjoyed it thoroughly, and we talked about it. A little farther down, at number 5 on my list, is Marvel's Ant-Man. Though I enjoyed it, there were movies I enjoyed much more. Still a good movie, a lot of fun, and everything.
Well, apparently there were 4 movies you enjoyed more because you ranked at number 5.
Yes. I'm not good at math. So, anyway, Cheryl, what were your favorites?
Well, I think, it's hard to choose favorites, as you said. And for me, I think what I'm basing it on is, of the movies that I enjoyed, and there were like about 7 or 8, which one would I go today and see again? Right. And since I already have seen Age of Ultron 3 times, I don't think that would be the one I'd go see again. And interestingly, I would go see again. I can't choose between these 2, but Man from U.N.C.L.E.
I thought you were going to say that.
And Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And that's because I really enjoy going back and looking at production. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy going back and looking at character development. And I think there's so much packed into both of those movies.
Interesting.
That I would go back now knowing how things are developing and just seeing how they're setting them up. I really like the cleverness of both of those movies, and so I like to see how they led us to where we went. And so that's why I would choose those 2, Man from U.N.C.L.E. and Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Okay. Well, I guess that means that we just need to head to the theater and come back with some fall movies.
Exactly. Ready for the fall.
Yay. And everybody, you can follow Cheryl on Twitter at Palace Princesses, her Twitter name.
And I talk about princesses there, so if you want to see me talking about geek things, follow the podcast Twitter account at Geek Homeworld.
Away Team Report.
We're joined here today with Amanda, a friend of the podcast, and she is going to give us all the dirty lowdown of Dragon Con 2015 from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to the podcast, Amanda.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you.
And we're going to start off. This was your first time at Dragon Con.
It was. It was an experience.
What were some of your feelings, your thoughts on it as a first-timer?
Well, as a first-timer, I had a little bit of trepidation going because the internet told me it was going to be crowded and stinky.
Crowded and stinky.
Crowded and stinky. And much to my pleasure, it was crowded and not one bit stinky. Just full of really fun, friendly people and good costumes. And
it was nice and flowery.
It was.
A flowery smell.
Like with really good, scary flowers.
scary
Covered in fake
flowers.
blood or fur.
Did you dress up? And if so, who did you go as?
I didn't dress up, and I kind of wish I did because I think it would have been more fun.
I think next time you probably will.
I think I probably will. The costume that I saw that would work for me, I think, was Louise from Bob's Burgers. It's my personality. Really inappropriate.
You're sporting your Dragon Con shirt, which is awesome.
I am.
So,
you can't leave without a t-shirt.
That's right. You got to get some swag there.
Yes.
Did you get any cool swag from the?
I got a keychain.
Awesome.
But my big takeaway was autographs. And I
Really?
went on a budget. I got 3 sets of autographs, which was really exciting. I got Peter Mayhew.
Okay.
So Chewbacca the Wookiee.
I can't do a Chewbacca.
Yeah. I got an autograph from Nicole Nichols from Star Trek. And she was so gracious. She spent a lot of time with each person. I had a good conversation with her about the meaning of Star Trek in my life, how it's the first TV show I remember watching.
Wow.
And then I walked over to get autographs from Ghost Hunters, my favorite show since 2004.
Okay.
Had Steve Gonsalves and Dave Tango from the Sci-Fi Channel.
Now, I know Michelle Nichols was recently, she was pretty ill.
She was. She seemed like she was doing great though, and she had just about the longest line I saw for autographs. Except for Mary
she was such a trailblazer, especially for women and African American women back when Star Trek came out.
Yes, the first interracial kiss on television.
That's true. That's very true. Very true. Did you see? Well, obviously you were probably overwhelmed. You said by just all the different types of people and the costumes and all. But were there any themes? Like, let's say one of my favorites, Star Wars. Did you see anything Star Wars?
I did. There's plenty of Star Wars there. We had a lot of Princess Leia, Wookiees, an occasional Darth Maul.
Awesome.
There was a lot of Pokemon, Sailor Moon, all the good staples of comics and
geekdom. Yes.
One thing I'd like to add, talking about being overwhelmed, the Dragon Con app demystifies a lot of what's going on. It's got a map. You can have a calendar of
That's
events.
awesome.
You can add your friends and see where all your friends are going to, and that's a huge plus.
Trying to find everybody and get everybody coordinated. I'm sure that's a great tool to have. So what other kind of costumes did you see?
I saw a lot of Green Arrow.
Awesome.
Those were all excellent. I didn't see a bad Green Arrow. We had a lot of Captain America. Occasionally we had couples with Agent Carter and Captain America, which those were spot on. Lots of vampires. We had a lot of people dressed up as the Inside Out cast, all the different emotions.
Oh, wow.
And they all posed as groups, and they were excellent.
I did not get to see that, and I did want to see that.
Yeah, me too. I didn't see a lot of Catwoman, which was really disappointing. A lot of Wonder Woman.
Do you blame Halle Berry for that?
I do. Right. There's a lot of Poison Ivy.
Interesting.
Not much Harry Potter. And the funniest costume I saw was somebody dressed as Colonel Sanders.
Were they giving away free chicken? That's the important thing.
I wish they were. I was hungry.
And some coleslaw?
I was getting hangry.
Because I would do a lot for coleslaw. So you said, Amanda, that two of the things that you were concerned about was that it would be smelly and it would be crowded, and it wasn't smelly.
No.
So was it crowded?
It was definitely crowded. I was there with 65,000 of my closest friends.
Awesome.
We also had more than one event going on in Atlanta that weekend. It was, in addition to Dragon Con, it was Black Gay Pride Weekend and Chick-fil-A Bowl Game.
Wow.
Which made transportation almost impossible, and we were saved by the miracle of Marta.
Oh, Marta.
Wonderful. Marta saved the day on that.
So it was a hodgepodge of everybody.
A little bit of everybody walking on Peachtree Street. Yes.
That's awesome. So do you think you're going again to Dragon Con?
I think I might. Right now the prices are $80 for a limited time. Which is a pretty good deal. I decided to go late last year.
So it costs more if you go later, I would imagine.
I think I paid over $120 for my ticket in July.
Yikes. So there were no poor people there.
No. There were no poor people there.
And
that's why they smelled so good.
That's why they smell so good. They were able to buy deodorant and smell pretty. And so that's the one thing we're going to get out of this segment of the episode is that everyone smelled really nice. You think they smell better than Comic-Con people?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know.
We'll have to go to Comic-Con and find out.
We'll have to have boots on the ground at Comic-Con with
There you
tests.
go. That's wonderful. I love
Just the right height. I'm armpit height, so.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I would have smelled it if it was there.
Yeah, if you're on stilts, then maybe you should wear stilts.
Maybe.
I don't know. You could be like a really tall Chewbacca, like a 12-foot Chewbacca. That would be awesome.
Yes.
But let's see. So you're definitely going back. And do you know who you might dress like when you go back? Any early thoughts?
Early thoughts. I think at minimum I'm going to wear a fun wig. Because I think you just need to wear a little something fun to get you in the spirit of it, but nothing too heavy because it's hot. It's Labor Day weekend, y'all.
Yeah.
It's hard to schlep around in that.
It's the South.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there could be undead walking around, you know.
There could be.
There could be.
Breaking news.
I have a confession to make. I have never attended Dragon Con.
What?
I know there's something wrong with me, but I think I might be going
You're
in
gonna
the
have
future.
you're gonna have to do some research and go next year.
I will have to definitely do that. So, I want to thank you, Amanda, for joining us today.
Thank you.
This has been awesome. And I love hearing about your future travels. Maybe you'll come back and tell us some more about Dragon Con, or maybe you'll make it to Comic-Con, or
Maybe.
next thing I know, I'll turn on the Arrow or the Flash, and you'll be on there as an extra.
I'll be doing a cameo, making a
To
face.
cameo. All right. Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks, Ed.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Geek Homeworld podcast with your host, SavageTechman. You can find us on Libsyn, Google+, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, listen to us on iTunes, see us on YouTube, be part of our Mixler chats. Thank you. See you again on the Geek Homeworld podcast.
Geek Homeworld.